Hey, it's Blaststone Mike, and I have Kiki and I have Jim Andrew with me, and we are doing a new show for y'all called Out of the Box. That's the reason why we come up with this name is because we want to talk about topics that are out of the box. That we take that blind away and go, hey, guess what? We could talk about why we like Himalayan salt opposed to salt.
Right.
We could talk about aliens. We could talk about if we think R2D2 is better than C3PO, or it doesn't matter. We're going to talk about a lot of different things. We could get deep. We could get funny. You never know where we're going to go with this. It is not kid friendly, so it will be part of the 18 and over on YouTube. And it'll be an hour each week. And we'll have different people coming in with us to discuss things. There'll be more people come in and be part of the show. But what we're going to do is we're going to start with Kiki, and she's going to give us a topic. We're going to talk about it, each one of us, Jim and me, and then get back to Kiki. She'll tell us why she picked that topic, and then we'll go to Jim. How's that sound, everybody?
Sounds good.
Sounds great.
So,
Okay, so the topic that I picked was chastising kids.
all right. Jim, you're up first.
Chastising kids, meaning
Uh just how do you feel society is chastising their children and how it affects us?
well, I think everything that the government does, or the 1%, I should refer to them as, is by design. Um, I don't know if I'm in the same category that you're thinking about, but are you talking about like how you discipline and whatnot?
Yes, yes.
Okay, well, today I think society is sending kids the wrong message, where I can do anything I want and get away with it.
Yep, I agree.
Um, at one time, I mean, if you spank your child now, they can call DSS, and DSS will investigate you.
Hmm.
So the kids knowing that figure they can do anything they want and get away with it. Years ago, if I did something wrong, my dad bring me out behind a woodshed, whip my butt, and I think I grew up to be a better person because of that.
Hmm. Yep.
Well, me personally, I believe that society makes it, we here recently with us glamorizing all these people who die, like from suicides, from drug addiction. Like we just had Juice World die of a drug addiction from mixing cough syrup with Sprite, and they call it drip. I think that our children see that on a daily basis, and they go to school and they see their friends be like, "Oh, well, I tell my parents fuck off when they want me to do something, or I tell my parents fuck you, I'm not going to do it." And it's like, it reminds me of when this has been a while ago now. I used to work at Walmart, and I worked in the electronics department. And I think the new Nintendo came out that year. I can't remember what it was. Maybe PlayStation 2. I can't remember. And this woman, mind you, you can't say nothing when you're in Walmart and you're an employee. You just got to stand there and take it. So this older woman comes in. She's in a wheelchair, and her husband. And her grandson says, "This is what I want for Christmas, bitch, and you're going to get it for me. If you don't get it for me, then I'm going to make your life hell." And I'm standing there going, "What am I witnessing?" Because, like Jim said, my dad, my brother, he's been dead 10 years, but we were kids. He told my brother said, "I'm going to whoop your ass." And my dad took him by the head and pushed him like this and goes, "You're going to whoop my ass? Really?" And just beat the shit out of him, you know? We skipped school in high school, and me and my friend and my brother got our ass whooped in the principal's office with a paddle. Where I lived,
Wow.
paddle kids now. They don't even, they don't even, kids today are so ruthless. It's like, I would never want to go to school as a kid today, and I never want to go to jail. I've been in jail before. I spent a year in jail, but, I can't say it was wonderful because because jail ain't wonderful, but it was easy. I wouldn't go to jail for nothing now because there's too many kids in jail. It's crazy because the way that parents, you know how parents raise kids today? You go to your room, you do what you want, leave me the fuck alone. Come out and eat your dinner if you want to eat it. If you don't, go to bed. They stay up till 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock, and get up at 5 or 6 and go to school. So then they're unhappy because they go to school. But I think it should be like the Bible says, spare the child, spare the rod,
Well,
whatever it says in the Bible.
spare the rod, spoil the child.
Yeah. It has to be like that. Because if we don't get back to that way of thinking, our society is going to be crazy. Why do you think we have shootings? Why do you think we have?
Well, that's exactly right, and it's all by design.
Well, why, I mean, I'm not going to get into the whole, government conspiracy right now because that's not what we're talking about. But it's our kids have to learn better how to function. More. This is one thing I see in Kentucky a lot, and I don't know if it's where you're at, Jim, or you, Kiki. More and more grandparents are taking care of their grandkids because they have useless kids that won't do nothing.
Right.
When I was on the Facebook Live show, which you all both been on, I don't know how many grandparents I met. They're taking care of their grandchildren because their kids won't do it.
Right.
But their kids want them to help them when they're raising their own flesh and blood. I agree with you, Kiki. We have to do something.
We do.
Go ahead and tell us what you think.
I discipline my children. I put them on a schedule. I make limits in this world because as a minority, I feel that it's sad when I see my brothers and sisters acting all uneducated and stuff. And it affects you with whatever your race is. It affects you more when you see yours acting a certain way. And you do have all of these shootings, and it's just ridiculous how children just will walk up in your house. They don't introduce themselves or say their name. People in our own neighborhoods don't talk to you like they used to. If you do go across the street, they think you're going to kill them. You're unable to help elderly people anymore because they think that you're going to hit them or abuse them. And we don't have community anymore. And the reason why is, you're right, because of Child Protective Services saying the law of the land from the headmaster and allowing those things to trickle down. And that's why we're uneducated. The majority of children are overweight because they feel that they can just get anything and everything. And now parents are feeding into it because now they're scared that the truancy officer is going to come to their house because they see a bruise on their child. And I'm talking from a place of, I was a person that was abused. So knowing my story, when you find that out later, it's just weird that I would say we need discipline. Now, there are ways to discipline a child without killing them. I'm not advocating that people should go around just beating their kids all willy-nilly, but I feel that we should discipline our children, and they should know the word no.
I agree.
They should learn the word no. That is a known factor. That is a known factor in life, that they should learn the word no. Because what happens to these children when they leave our home, when they leave our tribe, the tribe that they were raised with, right? Now they feel that society should give them that award, like sports. I'm against people giving awards to everybody on that sports team. You are showing them that now, once again, they get their way. They get their way because they were defeated. These rules in the Bible and these rules that are in all religions about discipline, they were there for a reason, because they didn't want society to be crazy.
Another thing that you see nowadays is, say, like, a kid has a birthday, because they don't want their kid to be upset, they give them a present too. And it's like, man, I didn't get that shit when I was a kid. I was like,
no.
I agree. The majority of kids are spoiled. Yes.
You know.
And it starts from home. It starts from home. There was something that I checked myself because when I would go and pick my daughter up, I would have my 4-year-old with me and I would get him a Happy Meal. So my husband one day says, well, are we going to get Emmy a Happy Meal? And I said, why? He says, well, she would want one too. I said, she's still in school. By the time she comes home, it's going to be all nasty. Why would you want to do that? But it's the parents too. We have to check ourselves to say we're allowing this behavior in any shape and form. And now I'm like, on your day, I'll give you something, but it's not your day to receive a treat,
Yeah, I
Right.
agree. I agree. So, Jim, what's your subject?
Aliens. That's my favorite subject.
We kind of lost your feed there, Kiki, for some reason.
Am I there?
No, just a picture.
Yeah, we don't have any movement. You're frozen.
Oh no, but you can still hear me?
We
Yeah.
can hear you. Yeah.
Huh.
Let me see something here. Everybody, this is new, so give us a minute. We're kind of still learning, so let me see here.
Yeah, she's been frozen for a while now.
Yeah, now it's all black.
Let's see if I can. Let's see if I can call her back. Can you talk in there about aliens?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
We can still hear her, Mike. So I mean.
Yeah, we can still hear you.
Yeah, that's fine. Let's just keep it. The show must go on.
All right. So, you want to talk about aliens, right?
Well, extraterrestrials. Yeah. I mean, I am an alien abductee, and since the abduction, as you said before, I was tattooed during the abduction, and I've gained the ability to energetically heal and stuff like that.
I'll let you start, Kiki. What do you think of aliens?
I feel that aliens do exist, but I'm going to elaborate on that. I feel that there are certain words that we use that we interpret differently. Like, I feel that a demon could be associated with someone as a demon and a alien could be somewhat the same entity, but it all depends on what they did to differentiate if it was a demon or alien, if that makes any sense. Because I feel that both of
it does make sense to me, yeah.
So I really feel that a lot of people that have been possessed could have been possessed by aliens, or they could have been possessed by demons, but being uneducated in the society that we live in, a lot of people fall back on the demon aspect.
Well, yes, I mean, there's good and evil in everything, I would think.
Yeah. So there's a story that I saw a prisoner at one of my inmates. I was doing suicide watch and he was in his cell. He was in his cell, and every night he would recite all of his dirty little deeds that he did to this lady. He said how he buried her. He said where he buried her. And he would just pace that room back and forth and giggle with this demonic little voice. This one particular night, he has his hands crossed and he's quiet and he's laying on the cell bed. He's laying on the floor and he's just quiet. And then he gets up quietly and he lies on the bottom bunk. When he lies on the bottom bunk, the hour is about 2:30. Lights start twitching inside the cell, and just weird peculiar things started happening. I started to look inside his cell, and when I looked, I saw what you would call a gray person. Like, it either could have been a demon or it could have been a gray, because it had big, giant, bulbous eyes, and it was gray, and you can see the skeleton going all the way down, and his nails were so long that, and he was just he was grimacing, and he was having his hands like twisting his hands together like I'm up to something, I'm up to something. And then I see like this energy force go inside this inmate. And then as I noticed him doing this, because it was only one person in that cell, so I'm really tripping out like, what is this? He turns his head slowly towards me, and I see these two big giant eyes and these fangs, and then he looks at me like, she sees me? Wait a minute. And comes towards me, and I just started praying. He comes towards me, and something out of like Constantine, he gets to the cell door, and then whatever helped me, he dissipated. Like he couldn't penetrate me. And I really feel that that could have been an angel, or it could have been a gray, because to me it looked like a gray. But then if you have someone that's educated in demonology, they would say that it was a demon. But I really feel that he was the one controlling this person in the prison. And it was not, his eyes looked soulless. He didn't see no soul. So I really feel that there are a lot of alien abductions and demon abductions that happen in the prison, that people are falling into traps and being incarcerated. And I know that sounds weird, but when you're attuned with your spirituality or awake with certain situations, you see those signs of people. I know I went off the deep end, but it's just, I really feel about that. That's how I feel.
Now, how did the inmate act afterwards when that
He got up like time never stopped, and started reciting the same things over and over again.
and he did that habitually, like every night?
Every day, every night. He was one of the longest suicide watches that they had, because he wasn't causing any harm to others, and he wasn't causing harm to himself. But the inmates that he would bunk with, they were going crazy, because he would just say that repeatedly, non-stop.
Yeah. In other words, he was driving the other inmates nuts. Yeah.
Yeah, he was driving the other inmates nuts.
Whatever happened to?
Whatever happened to him?
Yeah.
I don't know. I worked there, but I don't work there no more. But as I was there, he was still incarcerated in his prison.
Well, you're talking about aliens and demons, or aliens, and she said demons too. This kind of goes along with it. Do you think that children can have demons inside of them that make them feel do what they do?
Yeah,
yes.
I believe a demon could possess anybody, a child or an adult, anyone.
Yes. It can possess a dog. It can possess a cat. It can possess anything and everything that is in this world. And once you become aware of those things, it's kind of creepy at first, but then you become accustomed, and you know how to recognize it, and you just stay quiet. You don't want to exchange your energy with people like that. And for a long time, I was one of those people that just had my code switch on hot, just hot all the time. And once you start working on yourself, whichever denomination, once you truly align yourself with the higher being, you're okay, because you recognize it and you know what it is.
I never had an experience with aliens, except for Jim's little buddies following me around in the sky all the time, but that's about it. I think they watch me because there's no way stars can zigzag, and I mean, I know that they're there, and I know that when the alien revolution happens, I'm on my way to Florida. Jim's in touch with the big. So, I met Travis Fault about as much as I know about aliens, really. Would I want to be abducted? Hey, I don't know. Maybe. I mean, hell, let's do it. Let's see how it is. I mean, I come back, hopefully. So, I mean, I can't say that, being abducted by aliens bad thing, Maybe they'll enlarge my member that I want enlarged on my body. Who knows? I
careful what you wish for.
Right,
You know,
right,
I mean,
right.
you just don't know. I mean, it's one of those things. We can't sit here like you said. Um, you were saying that people are knowledgeable in demonology and all this other stuff, but how are we really that knowledgeable in things like that? I mean, we really don't know. I mean,
I think that I think, not to cut you off, but I think it's because certain people stay in this arena for so long, and they're unable or incapable of thinking outside of the box. Like, I'm a spiritualist, but I believe in God, and it's kind of like an oxymoron, because they're like, well, how can you touch a tarot card and believe in God? And I'm like, well, because I feel that before we were an organized religion, we
mhm.
had more of those tools available to us. And you had people reading chicken bones. You had people reading rocks,
Tea leaves.
runes,
Yeah,
tea
tea
leaves.
leaves. Yeah.
And so now, because we are so organized, we are displacing the spirituality of the tools that our ancestors used for God, the Almighty, the Omega, to talk to us.
All righty. Well, my subject is this. Okay, we just recently we lost Kobe Bryant and his daughter.
Mm-hmm.
As a society, there was 9 people that died in that crash. Why did no one care about the rest of the people that were in that crash?
Right.
It's very irritating when death, if I die tomorrow, the only people who care about me are the people that watch me on Facebook and my family. I understand that. But
Right.
there was 9 people that were killed in that crash. And
Mm-hmm.
all we hear about is Kobe this, Kobe that, Kobe this, Kobe that. And it's like they're trying to find reasons why that helicopter went down. The
Right.
pilot that fought, blah, blah, blah.
Right.
Okay?
It's funny
What,
because you took my topic.
what, are, your, what are your feelings
I thought
about
you were the psychic.
what,
We're getting our wires crossed here.
what are your feelings about when stuff like that happens and somebody famous dies, and then it happened before too, because it was 2 famous people. It's kind of a trivia question. Okay, I'm going to ask both of you. Okay, and then we'll go back. When Michael Jackson died, who was the other person that died the same day?
Oh, it was another famous person.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I don't recall.
I don't recall.
Farrah Fawcett Majors died the same day.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
But nobody cared about Farrah Fawcett. All they wanted to talk about is Michael Jackson.
Mm-hmm.
That's probably why we didn't even hear about it, right?
Why is it that as a society of somebody as big as Michael Jackson or Kobe Bryant, why is it that anybody else is insignificant to them? That's my question
Right.
for you.
Because money is the root of all evil.
So, Kiki, you Jim, okay?
Okay. Well, I was gonna pick that subject because you hit the nail right on the head. There were a lot of people that had passed. There was the pilot of the helicopter. His family is displaced. The young people that were on that plane with Kobe were displaced, and no one is saying anything about them. And it's like it's sad that he's died. But a week before, we were celebrating Martin Luther King's birthday. And unless you were watching certain venues on TV that were celebrating him, you really didn't hear about it. And I'm like, Kobe Bryant, I know, touched a lot of people if you were playing basketball. But just to watch basketball and get hurt like that, it was just like, it was crazy because I don't know. It was just, it was crazy. In my spiritual side, I feel if you don't have nothing nice to say, you shouldn't say it at all. And a lot of people went on Facebook saying saying the things that I'm saying now, but it comes off weird when you just text something on Facebook because now it makes you
Sorry
seem
about that,
as if
guys.
you're evil. Huh?
My dog is barking. Sorry about that.
Oh,
That's
that's all
okay.
right.
Jim has
But
that
I
problem. He has Rambo.
Yeah, Rambo does the same thing over here.
yeah, that's why I'm outside, so I don't have to be bothered with all three of mine.
I can't be outside. It's like 30 degrees outside here.
Oh wow. No, not here. Here it's hot.
You're in California.
About 85. It's about 85 where I'm at.
You all
Yeah.
are in luxury, man. It's 30 degrees.
I don't know nothing about that life, sir.
But go ahead, Jim. I didn't mean to cut you off, Kiki, if you weren't done, but go ahead,
Oh,
Jim.
that's fine.
I think you guys just about covered it. I think it's got to do with, I guess, it might have something to do with, the fame aspect of it, as far as, all these, which I consider fake news outlets anyway. They want the ratings. So I believe that's
Mhm.
why they're just, they do what they do.
Yeah. And then they glossed over the fact that, we might be invaded with that new virus that's going and hit in China, and no one's talked about that. They really, really harped on the Kobe Bryant situation because that happened at the same time too.
What about the fact that TMZ reported it before anybody knew that he was even in the helicopter?
What?
Yeah, TMZ reported it before anybody knew he was in the helicopter. TMZ reported it. His wife didn't even know that he had passed away, and TMZ reported it before anybody even knew anything about it.
Well,
Wow.
she got a bigger lawsuit opening there. If that's the case, she could sue them.
TMZ
Yeah.
really screwed the pooch on that one because they said something about it before even his wife knew.
Wow.
So, yeah, they were the first.
That's crazy.
It's wild that TMZ can find out this shit before anybody else. It's just, I don't know. Anyway, what's your next subject there, Kiki? Since I stole your one.
That was the top two. Okay. Man, because that made me throw my just how you I don't even know how to word it, but just how we pollution just like how do you feel that how do you feel that it is a global cause, or do you feel that it's just the United States cause, with whether it being the CO2 print, because we're very conscientious here in California about the CO2 print, but someone in Milwaukee might not be as conscientious because of where they are. Do you feel that we should be more connected in that, how we are with that, or what?
Jim, are you still there?
I'm here.
Your video's gone. It's just a picture of you.
I think that's telling us we're on our way out. Last call for alcohol, folks.
My picture leaves, and we all know that we're screwed. Okay.
Well, I'm moving on my end. I can see myself, and I can see you.
I can't see nothing on mine. Mine is dark.
So, what do you think about what she said there, Jim?
Well, I mean, there's a lot of things that go on, and it's funny because I think it's a global thing. Again, I keep going and repeat myself back to the 1%. But all these chemtrails in the sky, pesticides and poisons being sprayed on our foods by Monsanto that we're consuming. They got what is that poison they have now in children's cereal?
The TSF.
Trisodium chloride.
Yeah. No Lucky Charms for me.
Yeah, and that's even listed as an ingredient on the box. Okay.
Yep.
So I think this is all by design. The elite, and when I refer to the 1%, what I mean by that is it starts at the Vatican. I believe they're in most of the position where they're in control, and it trickles down from there to the kings and queens in Europe, the blue bloods, so they consider themselves, and down to certain world leaders, and of course big corporations like Monsanto itself and other lobbyists that donate billions of dollars to the government. And what their agenda is to create a new world order, and their ultimate goal is to eliminate 95% of the world population.
Right.
Well, I got something to add to that. What about the fact that it's been told that in inner cities that the government sprays stuff to make them more monsters and want to kill each other? Have you all heard about
Oh
that?
yeah. I've heard about that, and I've also heard about them sending stuff up to the sky to create rain, artificial rain, and that's
Oh,
why
yeah.
we're killing our bees and stuff because of cell phone frequencies. I mean, I am using my cell phone. It's kind of a hard conundrum right there because it is a way of life to get connected. I mean, if I get too hippy dippy, I just be stuck in my house because
I think
I have to live among this land.
Yeah.
I think the biggest problem with the bees is Monsanto and the pesticides that they're spraying.
Yeah. Isn't
All right.
there? Yeah. Have you ever heard of oh my God, it's a white powder and it's little crustaceans. Diophilus. Oh my, Decatomaceous. Have you ever heard of that?
Yeah,
Decatomaceous earth.
that's what people use for bed bugs.
Yeah, that stuff will kill anything and everything if they walk through it. But they
Yeah.
don't want to tell you about that
Well, look at the
because you can
fluoride.
drink it.
Look at the fluoride that's been in the water for decades now,
Yeah,
and in toothpaste. And
yeah.
if you read the label on a toothpaste tube, it'll say, if swallowed, in a large amount, call a poison control center immediately. So what does that tell you?
Yep.
So I agree with both of you, so I'm not going to go into that with you all because y'all pretty much covered all that.
Mm-hmm.
What subject, Jim?
Well, we mentioned Michael Jackson. Is he actually passed, or did he fake his death? And
He faked his death.
I believe he did. I believe he did. Yes.
I believe that there's a couple things. Let's talk about that for a minute about death, okay, with celebrities. I don't think Tupac's dead. I
Right.
think everybody that's surrounding that whole Tupac thing is dead, includes Suge Knight now. So, everybody that had witnessed it is dead. Everybody that's been involved is dead. Michael Jackson's not dead. Ironically, how did Prince die the night Prince died? And he usually had security go with him everywhere in that place. But that night, there was no security, and they didn't find him till the morning after it happened. How does that happen? You know what I mean?
I don't know. See, and that's that Illuminati stuff and the Bohemian club. I mean, the Bohemian cult
Yeah, the
stuff. You
Bohemian
know.
Grove. Yeah.
The
Uh-huh.
Illuminati rules everything. I think it was last year, year before, Katy Perry flipped out on stage, and she said the Illuminati had done it. It was them who had brainwashed her to do it or something.
Yeah, that's exactly the 1% I'm referring to.
Just like at the Super Bowl, Jay-Z and Beyonce and her daughter didn't stand for the national anthem.
Well, I have something on that one, but we could talk about that one. That is a long subject of why about that. That I think out of all of them, that one right there, the reason why they sat was because it's Black History Month, Kaepernick kneeled for police brutality against black males and black females, and he got fired from it. And I really feel the New Yorker state of mind came out in Jay-Z and said, because he's in the NFL and he owns part of it and all this, that, and the other and the next, right? So he probably signed all of the proper paperwork and said, they said that I can't kneel, but they never said that I can't sit during the national anthem. And I think that's what he probably did to support, saying that, you don't have to kneel. The players don't have to kneel. If you feel that it's something that you can sit down in the bleachers, but you could do a silent protest. I think in that aspect of him, I think that's why he did that.
And he's part of the Illuminati too.
Yeah. So, but I think with him and Beyonce, they're part of the 1%, but they're trying to wake people and do it in a way, but people aren't listening to what they're saying unless you're catching on. Because when you're with the Illuminati, you can't outright say stuff because something will happen to you with them. Just like Jim Carrey. Remember when Jim Carrey started talking about that Illuminati stuff and then he all flipped out? And then his wife died and all this other stuff started happening around him. And now he's as right as rain.
All right. My subject is, what do you think about time travel?
Time travel happens through astral projection.
Right. I was going to say, I think the only way that might be possible is spiritually.
Yeah. We can connect our minds through dimensionally, through past, present, and future, spiritually, through astral projection, meditation, and just being spiritually connected. And that's how you become psychic. So it's not that you're know all be all. If you're really attuned, you can see people dimensionally through time. And that's how you become a good reader.
So you don't think that we can go from here to the 1800s?
Yeah. Through it's called
Spiritually we can.
Spiritually you can, because I have did a past life. It's called past life regression meditation. If you do past life meditation, you can see your past. When you look into other people's eyes, you can see their past.
Oh wow.
I saw my same family, the same family that I have now. I saw the same husband that I have now, but we look different. I have the same amount of children. I have the same spirit in the husband, and it's just played out a little differently now, but I am with the same person.
I guess history repeats itself.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it does. Yeah. So spiritually we can, because we're not at that level. We're not at that level to do it physically, but the higher beings have given us the possibility to do time travel to educate us. But people are just not in tune with their spiritual connection to fix things on this planet.
I used to watch Jesse Ventura, and he had a guy on there, which was what's the guy's name that did Philadelphia and all that, and he did the war movie. His son believes in time travel, and they had that picture come up, or that video come up of that guy that looked like he had a cell phone outside Chinese Men's Theater in the 1920s. So there's been weird things like that have been seen, and caught on film. And
or that old lady in that 1920s film that was holding a cell phone.
Yeah, that's another one. Yeah, there's several things like that. To me, I feel like there's going to be a point later on in our lives, maybe in our grandkids' lives, that they're going to figure out how to travel back in time.
Yeah, another one was the Montauk experiment, wasn't it? I think that was about time travel. Yeah.
And let's don't forget about the greatest person of all time, Michael J. Fox. He went back to the future. So why can't we? You know.
That's crazy.
Anyway, well, you all got anything else you want to talk about? Do you got anything that you freely just want to talk about or anything before we go?
I think we probably wrapped it up pretty good. I got to take the
Yeah.
dog out. He's bugging me over here.
Well,
I think
it
you
was
did
interesting.
good.
It was interesting talking to you first time. And we're going to do this on a weekly basis, and we'll get better at it. You know, this is the first one. Where we live, we do live in a real world, so there's telephone calls and there's dogs barking, kids crying. You know, so you'll hear
Well,
all that.
one thing they can take to the bank is it's real, right?
Right.
Yeah, we don't
And real
edit
stuff
anything
happen.
out.
That's right.
And like today, Kiki's video stopped, and then Jim's. Who knows what that's about? Every time I get on with Jim, something weird happens. So, Jim's glowed before. Jim's head's like a you can go back and watch all the videos. There's been some crazy shit. Dark figures in the room, and I mean,
That's
there's all.
crazy.
And with Kiki, me and her talking, there's weird shit happened with us too.
Mine's
nice
always is if I freeze.
It's nice meeting you, Kiki, by the way.
Nice meeting you too.
All right.
Guys, that's out of the box for the first time, and we will talk to you all soon. And if you have any questions or comments, you can direct them to the email at the bottom. You'll find. Also, you can message any of us. We'll have our email there and our Facebooks. That way, you all can get a hold of us on Facebook. We will have a Facebook group eventually that you can go to and check out. And if anybody would like to be a guest, let us know. If anybody would like to be a part of it, let us know. So we will all welcome you in with arms. And we'll be doing this again next week. The first one will be up on Saturday at 12 p.m. So y'all can check that out, okay? Thank you, Jim. Thank you, Kiki.
Okay.
Thank you. Blessings.
All right.